So you're looking at starting a small business. Should you get an LLC? Well, if you watch my most recent short, part one of this video, I talked about the legal side of things. But let's talk about the tax side of things. Because as an accountant, I work with a lot of people, lots of proprietors, people who are wanting to build businesses, and the topic of LLCs is something that comes up very often. And more often than not, I hate being the burden of bad news. The thing is, having an LLC alone is not going to save you a whole bunch of money when it comes to taxes. You see, whenever you have an LLC, generally they're created by just yourself. You're the sole member. In this case, they're single member LLCs or SMLLCs for short. And these are called disregarded entities, meaning the IRS really doesn't care. So going back to the music lessons analogy I had from a prior short. So let's say I do music lessons and I don't have an LLC. And I make, let's say $100,000 a year, and my expenses are 20,000 bucks. So I net 80. Now, let's say in an alternate universe, I make the same amount of money, but this person has an LLC. The question becomes, which one of us pays more in taxes? Well, again, if we're the only member of the LLC, the answer is these two numbers are the same. We pay the same amount of tax. But if we want to get really technical, really the only advantage of having an LLC when it comes to your taxes is that you have additional fees. Maybe you had to pay the state a certain fee, usually 100 to 200 bucks. If you had an accountant help file for you, or all other softwares that are out there, you obviously had to pay a fee, and well, I would consider that deductible. So yeah, add that to your cost. But again, the differences are pretty minute. Now, where LLCs can be actually very beneficial is whenever you start netting. And when we say netting, we're talking about all the money you've made, less all the expenses attributed to your business, and whatever's left over, if that's your net. If that net number is, let's say, at least 40,000, it may be time to consider changing your LLC to be elected as an S corp. You see, people get LLCs and S corps mixed up all the time, and I've got other videos that kind of break it down even further. But again, just getting an LLC alone is probably not going to save you any, if any, taxes. But again, it's whenever you start getting to the point where you start netting, again, 40, 50, $60,000 plus. Again, 50 to 60,000 is usually the range where I'm a little bit more aggressive, in pushing the S corp, because at that point, the savings from your self-employment taxes is better than the additional overhead that you're creating. So in that case, you are coming out ahead. But again, everyone's a little bit different, but 40 to 60,000 is usually the range that people usually start to push for S corps. So again, LLCs alone, probably not going to save you much on taxes. It's the S corp that usually people start to see those benefits.